It's good to see you are all surviving so far, practicing every day. Practicing other times may be okay, but getting up early morning at the same time in that non-moving position. It is not asana practice, but it is more static position and giving attention to all the subtle things. I believe you are not sleeping. You are lying down. So I am trying to not to keep you in the supine position longer. If you enjoy something, if you give tremendous value, all the attention will be there. Even midnight, it's difficult to sleep because the mind value it a lot. The mind need to strongly trust. The mind need to strongly believe. At the same time, the mind needs to enjoy the process as well. That's why when you are already practicing certain asana, already practicing yoga for some time, you can easily relate the connection with the physical movement and the breath movement. It may be not clear about the difference between prana and breath, but if you know this connection already, the body movement and breath movement, slowly you will see, slowly you will understand, slowly you will experience. That's why whenever we practice, we have to keep this question, keep searching answer for this question. What is prana? What is life? What is the whole concept of birth and death? Otherwise, the mind will still function, still do things in the same way. It will look for varieties. It will looking for different experiences with certain expectation. It wants to see whatever the belief it has already, imagination already it has. That's why all this week, past 6-7 sessions, the morning practice, we have been working on one aspect mainly. It is the awareness. Generally, when we do any kind of pranayama technique, we may just see only this aspect, inhalation, exhalation. But within that inhalation and exhalation, there are many aspects, many dimensions, many perspectives, which we can see only when we are able to give enough time and looking into all the subtle movements and changes. In our daily life, always our senses are traveling outward. Eyes want to look something, ears want to hear something, want to taste something, feel something, smell something. Constantly exploring outward, traveling outward. When it comes to yoga practice, you might have experienced in asana practice already the journey started inward. But still, we are at the periphery level in the outer ring. By pranayama practice, we are entering into that inner world. So the pranayama is the bridge between that outer world and the inner world. When people want to practice meditation, by closing the eyes straight away, they want to get into the state where there are no thoughts. Unless we know how the mind works, what is the mechanism of this body mind sense complex, we can't really get into that state straight away. Why? It is totally unknown area, unknown zone. We are living the other part of the city. Now we want to go to the another part of the city. There is a bridge in between. Though our aim is go to that other part of the city, if we don't really see what is the nature, what is the circumstances, what is the atmosphere, we can't really survive there, understand there. So now when we are traveling in this bridge, this Pranayama bridge, we are not rushing to enter into the city. Instead, we are checking each and every part of this bridge, in front of the bridge, side of the bridge, bottom of the bridge, what is there on top. What happens by that? Awareness. What is required for meditation? Awareness. Awareness of what is there first. Awareness of what we are holding without really any requirement. Awareness of all the faculties of the mind. So we have the memory, we have the intelligence, we have various concepts about life, about ourselves. But what is the reality of that? Fact of it? We don't know. We just believe. Somebody said something, we believe. To know the reality of it, we need to learn, we need to be patient to know, to see, to check all the aspect of it. So now, when we are getting into pranayama, if we have that interest, that perspective, that aspect, then we're supposed to bring that in asana itself. Now, if we miss that, now pranayama giving the other opportunity. So that's why when we do the inhalation, when we do the exhalation, what is the nature of it? So we saw that what is normal breathing, what is the normal inhalation, normal exhalation. The irony is, the moment you see the breath, your breath is not normal anymore. When the mind is doing something, that is normal breathing. When the mind observing the breath, that is, even though you don't do anything, but still that very attention itself change the course of breathing flow. And not only that, the mind will be tempted to increase the length of the breath. You observe the breath, immediately it starts to lengthen the breath. That's why when we say count the length of normal breathing, it's more or less, it is not accurate, it is a very approximate. Whatever the length of the breath, you can say it is less number, 1 or 2 counts or 3 counts less number, that is your length of inhalation, exhalation. And when we are putting effort to increase the length, so that's where the regulation starts. Here, what you need to be careful is the ambitious mind wants to challenge. It says, I can do long inhalation. It can say, I can do long exhalation. You may be able to do, but if you don't notice at what cost, with what support you are lengthening that long inhalation, exhalation, that will not do help well in the long run of practicing. To understand quickly, practicing pranayama is similar to touching the live wire, electricity wire. So now if you want to handle with that live wire where the electricity going through, what are the precautions you will take? How do you prepare yourself? What are the things need to be checked? That's what exactly we are doing now. So we are checking the length of inhalation, checking the length of exhalation. And when we are increasing the length, we are giving attention of all the various aspects of that action, the length, depth, and force. So that when the length, whatever that your length, we want to regulate, we want to gradually increase, your practice will be safer. When you are doing a continuous practice, long run, you are practicing, first and foremost important is for safe practice. Why? A lot of electricity. You know, when there is high voltage places, you will see some sign with the skull and the bones. Danger. So that you will be cautious. A regular, deeper pranayama practice, it also the same. We have to get into the practice with that same caution. Now, what is happening with this awareness? Okay, I am lengthening the inhalation, lengthening the exhalation with awareness, with cautious way I am practicing. What is really happening with that awareness? Slowly you will start to notice you will, even in other activities in your day-to-day life, you will start to keep observing now and then what is the breath flow. In fact, in your life, only these days you will spend more time with your breath than any other time. Unless you get flu quite often, then you will really connect with the breath because you are not able to breathe. If you are giving attention to the breath, naturally, not only you will connect with the movements of the body, you will observe the thought process as well. In fact, observing the breath itself, a wonderful meditation technique. As I said, this is the bridge. This bridge help you to go inward. Why we have to go inward? Why we need this awareness? My life is already going good. Everything fine. This inward journey revealing the actuality of our existence, the reality of our existence. In other words, we do things without really knowing what is the exact situation, the exact condition, the exact components of our existence. This awareness slowly start to reveal how your body works, how your mind works, how these thought patterns are getting set, where it comes from, why I am getting this emotion, why I want this, why I don't want this. Why this is bothering or why this is not bothering. It will start to reveal the root, the source of our thought process, basically the concepts, the beliefs, and various imaginations we have about ourselves and life. That's why practicing pranayama is not about just gaining some health or relaxation. It's about bringing the total awareness. It's about to get into our inner being day in, day out. So at the beginning, we do few postures, that is just to cheat your mind. Does the mind still want something new, something variety, something? Because basically chest opening, you can just do one way, and it's not really must that you have to open the chest that time. Why? Because if you have already a regular asana practice, whatever the preparation you have done with your body, with your organs, with your lungs, that's what will work. Just a little bit of preparation will be helpful. And it is not how longer you do. So don't misunderstand that if your inhalation length is longer, you achieve something in pranayama. If you are able to exhale some longer, you achieve something in pranayama. It is not at all about the length. It can be very short. From there, you are slowly increasing. There is not one breath you are taking like 2 minutes. That means like you have done something. It may happen naturally, but the idea is with that regulation, what is the awareness you get? How you are able to continue that observation and awareness with your mind, with the various thought process. So this foundation, even though we do many techniques, but this foundation, this awareness is the beginning part that will be the continuing act also, the ending part also same. Now it may be with a lot of interruption, but what we are aiming here to have that awareness without any interruption, uninterrupted awareness. So what we will achieve through pranayama, actually that is the starting point already. Whatever the other achievements will come through pranayama, that's all the supporting factor to have this awareness without any interruption. So when you are practicing, you check first, are you giving that attention? Not just on the surface level, all the subtle movements. When we say inhalation, various aspects of inhalation, the length, the depth, the force, the variations are different, normal, lengthening, even if you put some extra force. And the gap, the space after inhalation. Same way the gap after exhalation. Also the transition time from one part to the other part. Inhalation to exhalation is one transition time. Exhalation to inhalation, other transition time. Normal breathing to regulated breath, other transition time. From regulating, you go to normal breathing, other transition time. You need to be aware continuously what is happening. That's the real guidance actually. What I am giving the guidance, it is a very general guidance. But when you are observing that, when the breath is not smooth, you are pouring out or suddenly quickly inhaling, exhaling. Those specific movements will guide you when to stop, when to continue, how long you have to go, how long you should not do. You have to be very sensitive even to check the change of body temperature. You can notice when you inhale around your nose, even the throat area, even in your windpipe, when you inhale, the temperature will be different. When you exhale, it changes. Beginning time of practice, after a few minutes of practice, ending time of practice. That's the time also you can see that the temperature slowly changes. Generally, it goes from cooling condition to warm condition. So if you feel that heating sensation going beyond your body condition, yes, some people have naturally the body has that heating, the warm condition. It is not necessarily the same. Somebody's body temperature is, I'm not talking about that what you get in the machine, not that temperature. I'm talking about your feeling cooling or warm or a little bit hot. And it changes. You can notice asana practice afterwards also, as well as pranayama practice, even with meditation practice. We can say that, right? When you get angry, say, my whole temperature went up. They say like my whole body heated up. When you are getting in fear, sweating, suddenly the body things are changing. Right? You can see that. So it is same method, the same way. With the more we go inward, the body temperature changing. So if we are sensitive enough, then you will look into that. Then based on that, the practice will change. So this awareness is making that foundation. The mind is looking for varieties. The mind is curious. I want to learn that technique, this technique. I want to know this more. I want to know that. Tell to your mind, you have been learning many things all this life. Now the time to relax, just to be there. Just to be there and see what is happening. Not from one angle, we have to look into 360 degree. Not one dimension, all the possible dimensions. From outward, it looks the same, sitting or lying down, inhalation, exhalation. But awareness, awareness of all the subtle aspects of your condition. What the guidance you receive is very general. But if you are alert and observing carefully what you see, what you know, from there, actually you will know, you will learn more, you will understand more. That's why we are trying to go one step at a time, slowly. If necessary, we can stay in the same step little longer also. So we are not rushing to cross the bridge, instead standing on the bridge, watching the sunset, watching the sunrise, watching the moon, watching all the waning, waxing moons, feeling the breeze, feeling the humidity, feeling all the subtle aspects happening in the bridge. If the mind is value that, it will enjoy. If the mind doesn't value that, it's the whole process is a very boring process. So every day morning you get up, you want to hear the guidance, just to go to sleep. Also the tone, same level, right? You don't get much variations. So every time what we are practicing, the practice not just ending there. Please, you give attention that you are understanding what we are practicing. If you are understanding, then you can get the link from what you are doing now to whatever we are going to do further. And also, as I said, it is not just about the techniques. The whole pranayama practice you can do just in Ujjayi itself, actually. You don't need any other techniques. Within Ujjayi, we can completely bring all the aspects of pranayama practice, almost. So it is not about many techniques. But what we are doing now, this awareness, this foundation, connecting with the other techniques, so that when we do something specific, even for other techniques also, to bring back into this awareness. Otherwise, the mind is always looking what's next. What's more? What's further? So now we have to hold on that, be here, stay in that aspect, looking into that. If you don't understand it, if it is something different experience, if it is not clear, that's why we are meeting every weekend to get that clarity. And also bring that awareness not just with your breath, the whole day, if you are able to relate with various other activities. And keep watching that thought process. Keep watching the thought process of whatever that moods or emotions it brings with your breath movement. This all these weeks, you can do it as a focused practice, focused observation, and you can see that it brings more closer or to the experience of reality. That's the aim of this whole practice. I have few observations of the practice. If you have any other things you can ask, we'll start with this question first. Okay. This practitioner asks, I often get dry throat when I practice pranayama. Is there any problem? Do I need to drink some water when my throat is dry and then continue? Okay, you need to check, is it only when you are practicing pranayama or asana you get this dry throat, or even in your daily life, other time also you have this dry throat? So it may be your activities, daily activities, that can be the reason, or exposing to heated conditions, outside atmosphere can be. Also, drinking water, how often you drink water? Do you drink enough water every day? That 2-3 liters or 3-4 liters every day, do you drink that? So when you are doing asana, unless you are really sweating a lot, then you take, if you are really sweating, then you take like few sips. Otherwise, avoid drinking water, even in asana practice. When it comes to pranayama practice, you have to avoid, unless you are really thirsty, so dry. Again, few sips. Otherwise, you should not drink. but the throat is dry. What to do? Tip of the tongue, roll the tongue back towards your back upper throat. Roll the tongue at the tip. You have to roll, move back. I can't talk when I talk, you can't say, right? So roll and move completely back, reverse, opposite direction, and touch the upper as towards the throat as possible by closing the mouth. Normal breathing or long exhalation. So, not only while practicing, anytime when you feel thirsty, try this. See whether that dryness is changing or not. If you do like that, you have to feel slightly, then saliva is coming out. Okay, so then you will see that you don't feel that same dryness. And of course, you have to check how is your day-to-day life. Okay. I hope you got the answer. Okay, now the other question. Since I started 100 days of pranayama practice after the end of headstand and mid stand, okay, I assume something inversion during asana practice, the thick phlegm in my throat has increased and I feel very refreshed after spitting it out and doing the final corpse pose. Okay, is this a correct reaction? Of course, when the phlegm comes, if you spit it out, is better. Along from the nose, along this sinus area, sinus cavities, even the windpipe, even your lungs. The mucus phlegm, it can be forming layer after layer. We may don't know actually. We may think like only here we have that mucus. No. It's even like in a very, very thick form. That's why when you get cold, flu, you can notice that how that thick one, also various colors, green color, black color also, yellowish, all these things like coming out. That's why all the mainly the alternative medicine, the traditional medicine doctors always say, you get flu, mucus come out, release it out, take it out. Don't take the medicine immediately and block it because we won't get cold. We want to stop that immediately. If you take certain medicine, you can see immediately it is blocking. It is keeping it like that running nose stops and the blocking, which is not really good. It's a body reaction to throw that out. So the more you take that out, it is better. Don't take the blocking medicines, anything like that immediately. And check your, how you can check? There are various ways. One of the way, morning time, a lot of people feel that you get one side blocked nose or even overall blocked, or you feel that running nose in the morning time or sneezing. So we can see these things as indication there is excess mucus, the phlegm inside still there. Also, certain body condition very easily can add exposure based on the outside atmosphere. Very easily they can add. Very importantly, based on the food. What kind of food you are eating, that food also can add that. So this itself a chapter we have to look into in detail, because just asana practice will not help. You may be even practicing 30 years, 40 years. Just asana practice will not help. Can we say pranayama practice? Take long time. So then how we have to see that? We need to know what is the nature of our body condition. Then what are the foods, which are the foods is adding this, increasing this forming of mucus. Also, what is the atmosphere you are living, working? The person very easily block the nose sinus conditions. They work under the aircon 24 hours. It will be keep on creating trouble. So all these factors are very important to look into. We will study about it on other session. We will focus one of the weekend session like this. We will focus on that. And maybe you can share your conditions also and see that from there we will understand and we can get some idea about it. So yeah, and you go inversion is coming always like a, increase, put it out, then afterwards it's okay. Okay, the next question. Practicing pranayama is a way to understand our nature of body condition coming with this practice. How can I know which type of doshas? Okay, those who don't know about doshas, in Ayurveda, the Indian medicine, also it has the connection with yoga practice. It talks about combination of three types. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Air-based, fire-based, water-based. And also it gives the combination of that. Either air dominant or fire dominant. It's not that other elements are totally not there, but one element is dominant. So when we are practicing with the awareness, you will get some idea. Maybe one of our session in coming days, I will invite an Ayurvedic doctor, the Indian medicine doctor, to give some idea about these doshas, and to you can do some self study to get some idea. You want to know the detailed idea, then it is a different thing, but at least to some extent you can feel yourself already. So when they explain it, very easy for you to recognize what kind of body condition you have. In fact, if your asana practice also based on your body condition, it will be wonderful. For example, you are maybe fire based, pitta. Your fire element is dominant. You are always, have that energy on top. But you love to do headstand. Every time you practice, you do lot of headstand, lot of inversion. What is the nature of headstand? Heating effect, energizing, activating. You are already fire dominant. Now, what happens if you keep on practicing more headstand? It will add more fire. So the effect what we supposed to get from pranayama practice or asana practice may not complete. So how we need to know how to balance it. We will plan one of our session. Okay. Next question. This morning when we use block for spine, I feel not balanced between my left and right spine. Do I have to let go and focus on breath only, or do I have to balance the spine first? Definitely, you need to balance the posture first. Because if the posture is not balanced, whether it is supine or sitting, your focus on the breath won't be proper. Also, your breathing itself will disturb. So you need to see the condition. See, when we are using this support, especially these block wooden items, also the narrow side, check your back condition. There are students like they have the mild scoliosis or even C curve, S curve. The spine is not proper, or the right side, left side imbalance. So in that condition, the block should not be the straight line. There should be a little bit adjustment should be done according to your body. So instead of straight line, these two blocks you keep, one block maybe go to the left side, one block may go to the right side. 1 inch, few inches. So when you practice, you check, especially when you find that imbalance. You check when you change, see that whether it is helping or not. Or don't keep the narrow side, keep the broad side of the block, because the broad side then overall cover not only the spine, it covers along the side line of the spine also. So that's the way you can identify. And it is done with the purpose to maintain your focus and also to give that strong lift. One of the session we will learn how to do in the sitting position using the block, how to support. Not only in the lying down position using the block, we can do in the sitting also. So yes, balance the posture first. Okay. Is it question from Juno, or that is just the translation? Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so so Juno's question is, yeah, continuing the problem of phlegm, how to check the food? Should I study the sattvic food? What is the food suitable Ayurveda to improve it? It is not you need to study Ayurveda, a general understanding overall. You don't need to really go into detail. If you are interested, you can study. That's a different subject altogether. But it's not only for practicing this. Generally, also, we should know what food we have to eat, what food is suitable for us, what time, what food should be taken, when we should not eat, when we have to avoid. Plenty of guidance, plenty of books, plenty of nutritionists. Also, from various places, various experts, and giving various ideas. So Ayurveda may say one thing, Chinese medicine say one thing, Western medicine may say one thing. Your grandma says something, your grandpa says something, your friends may say something. Right? So a lot of time when it comes to food, we get into this confusion. Sometimes we have a lot of beliefs. Just generally we believe something we heard from childhood. This is good for this is good for that. What I would say, don't believe anybody. You have to believe your own body. That's why this yoga practice need to bring that sensitivity to listen what is the song your body is singing, whether it is singing or crying, whether it is warning you or it is having a nice loving talk. When we can hear only when we are sensitive enough to aware what's going on with our body. So we can get the guidance even from Ayurveda. This is the food, that is the food. But you need to experience it. You need to experiment that. You need to check. You need to really eat and see that you know what is happening. Certain thing probably straight away you will know. Certain things you have to check. Don't That's the time, don't go from the mind, don't go with your knowledge. Start to see what is happening. There are a lot of people start to believe something, the body will react accordingly. They may say, okay, I have got allergy with this particular food. The moment they start to think that way, the body will react accordingly. So don't go from the mind, instead you go from the body when it comes to food and see exactly what's happening. And avoid eating after 7 in the night. Any solid food, all these things finish earlier, have a good amount of time. Morning, keep the stomach empty. So experiment about the food. We have to, every day we have to do that actually, because that's, we are, that's the input constantly, right? Supposed to be done from young age, from childhood, but gone. It's okay. At least now give attention. Okay, I have few observations. One of the student has high blood pressure and easily getting anxiety. When she practice about inhalation and watch the gap, she feels too much tension. She's fine in observing exhalation. High blood pressure, you have to do a lot of exhalation. Focus more long exhalation. Don't focus to increase the length of inhalation. Whatever happens naturally, let it happen. Also, do more of supine position now. Even when you practice, more time for supine based practice. Whatever your natural inhalation, just let it be there now. And when you increase one, just go step by step from your natural inhalation, just one count more. The anxiety may come because of this effort, this force, and also the silence. The mind sometimes not ready to be in silent. And also when it is not able to do, right? Because that inhalation, you don't feel comfortable. So better focus on exhalation and keep doing it. And in coming days, though we do different things, your practice should be based on your condition. So if anybody, any of you have any specific conditions, please share with me, whether it is hyper conditions or low blood pressure or diabetes related or any other physical conditions, any, even you have a back pain, that kind of conditions, because your practice, even pranayama practice, should be based on that, how you have to adjust it and specifically focusing on that. Okay, so we will see that in so for now, focus on exhalation, see what's happening. So other student, I feel good to do Shirsasana after pranayama. Can I only practice Shirsasana? No. I mean, if you are practicing already pranayama, afterwards you do asana practice. Enjoy your Shirsasana, but you should do, I mean, it's not only you are going to do that. I assume you are doing sequence of postures. But you have to do Sarvangasana and Shavasana as well. So all the other things related with that. So not only Shirasasana. So this is other observation. One student feel good observation after lying on the bricks. So that probably the poking of the block not allowing you to sleep. So you get extra support to be aware. Okay, so you have to bring that same observation without block also. I have one stent on my heart, should focus on exhalation. In the practice, asana practice, you go for supported Setupanda Sarvangasana, Viparita Karani, Supta Virasana, Supta Badagunasana, all these supported postures. And that will help overall to increase the breath, length of the breath, also space. Again, yes, focus on more exhalation first. And with the asana practice support, you can see that the range of the breath will increase, even the inhalation length. And you can balance from there. Okay. Okay. That's all for today. We will continue other aspects of prana tomorrow morning as well as in the evening. Thank you all. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Thank you.